Abusia ma mo bibia kwaba na me for Mega TV and platform we eso Nyankopon koso a enhirehira obibia. Breaking news bia mensa eka a metie eni se ye papa Dr Bawumia, then Vice President of Republic of Ghana. In fact, former Vice President Asɛm na meken. Na owura we na enkra ewom ni se the operation recover all loot no meche ora team no omo atimi akofa 7 pickups bi Land Cruiser, right? Land Cruiser bi afi na kache na mususu se saa car we aban cars omususu se the requirement of form a ninsa edika saa cars no se bia buru se benyado eti amra enti operation recover all loot no team no akosisa cars na omo be hyase aye mu hwehwemu we enema ensema mate. In fact say de yenya source a say tibia ebepia abonti enti we yamaka ni say so wunjimi ndia you can go and check other platforms and verify because we ntia menseka enti we yensema etimi ekoso na yenkotie how MPP communicator any NDC communicator more deliberately on Ghana's economy, especially your Papa John the Bedi Mahama, a take over barely 1 month a day. And yes, I can tell you, say, and then a 1 month, 1 week, I will run a boyduma pa, run a boyduma. I any fedia gro. It's your bumpire, Edia Murano. Senior Coponia na dom na untimi enye jumano na bosha o share Ghana for no untimi endi susa pepepe emfama o my Ghana entimi mpese meche yenko na yenko tie sa ankomodidie ne ewo Good Morning Ghana shows Good Morning Ghana Metro TV bra ani ne pundits anase ne panelists omotena se na omo edidi Ghana ho enkomo mesro so betie conversation akosi the end. It sounds we have a lot of information packed with full details and I want to also bet me be credit in fama a Metro TV. Young na nhwese video from Brekoba Ebetwas.
And get those statistics. We want to know the numbers we're working with. If military is in, if defense ministry is in, if the minister is in, and government itself is in, they have to know the people they're working with so that we'll know the budget we're putting into that. Anyway, back to my studio guests. You're welcome once again, gentlemen, and I thank you for your time. Yves, thank you so much. How's opposition?
Oh.
And how's being out of parliament like?
Well, firstly, good morning to all your viewers and listeners. Well, I'll say opposition is fine. There's nothing wrong. It's early days. We are putting ourselves together. We are preparing to capture power in 2028. So there's a lot of work to be done. A lot has gone under the bridge. However, there's a lot of work to be done. We believe that we have what it takes to recapture power in 2028. If we put our works together, we put our shoulder to the wheel, we put in the effort, we work as a united front, which I know that MPP through its leadership is capable of doing. We've done it before. We've done it in 96 to 2000. We've done it in 2008, 2016. But this time we'll do it in 2028 because we believe that, yes, we made some mistakes. We've gone to our people. We are speaking to them. We are engaging them. We have a leadership led by the former Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Michael Quay, and his team. They've interacted with me, for example. They've been to my constituency. We've had very frank discussions. So I know and I believe that at the end of the day, when we are done and we go through our processes, we can capture power in 2028. So everything is fine. We are putting our tools together, and hopefully by end of this year, we'll hit the road running.
Okay, You were a part of the MPs that were calling for the head of Ken.
Yes, I was part of Ken Must Go.
Ken Must Go, yes.
Yes.
Ken Must Go.
Yes.
So were you actively involved during the elections?
Yes.
Were you supporting your candidates?
Obviously, my candidate was Dr. Bawumia, and then my PC in Tema Central was Charles Forson. I did everything I was supposed to do for them. I was an integral part of the campaign team.
Okay.
Dr. Bawumia's campaign team.
And in the constituency as well?
Yes, in my constituency as well. I even had to go and work in other constituencies too. So I worked in Ashanti, I worked in somewhere in the Western region. We have different roles that we play. It's not just the campaigning in our constituencies or on the streets that makes us part and parcel of the team. The team is broad. The people who are doing just social media. The other MPs who are doing just social media. The other people who are just responding to queries from people and all that. So it's a whole broad. I've been there before. I've been a candidate myself. He has been a candidate on 3 occasions. So he knows how it is. It's a whole structure. Most of the time, the candidate is just a figurehead. You know, there are people who are just supporting with their funds. Others who are supporting with their time. Others who are supporting with their mind. So all the things that you see on the ground.
So what did you see in Tema Central? Because it's one of the controversial constituencies.
So Tema Central, firstly, from my perspective, the people of Tema Central felt, I would say, that we are not being dealt a good hand by the NPP, in all honesty. Because the Tema Central has delivered for the NPP for the, I mean, since we were even Tema West and Tema East, the 2 Temas, we have delivered, I mean, since 1992, 1996, 2000, we deliver with good margins, 30,000, 35,000, 15,000, 20,000. I mean, those days we even had rural Tema West, which is now Klagon and all those places. We used to deliver all those places, part of Ashaman. We've even helped Ashaman, MPP win Ashaman before. We won Ashaman in 2004. So we have delivered, we deliver just like any other city, maybe Ashanti region. We deliver just like one Tema will deliver. Yet Tema Central has never been politically rewarded. Not just Tema Central, let me say the Tema region. Until Titus became regional minister and deputy minister. Let me bring it to Tema Central alone. Tema Central has never had a DC. We have never had a deputy minister. We have never had a minister, ambassador, any political position or reward that you might think of. Tema Central has never been awarded any of those. So the people of Tema Central felt that the MPP was taking them for granted. That one, I have to be honest. It got to a point I couldn't even go to the people to even go and interact with them. What are you going to tell them? You live in a community with your roads minister, for example. We lived with him from childhood. He became roads minister. He was there for 8 years. In that 8 years, he fixed the roads in a certain part of the community where he lives. And the rest of the community where our votes actually come from, we didn't get any roads. I didn't blame him. I don't blame him because it got to a point he was also saying, look, there's no money coming from the center. There's no money to pay for these projects, so I cannot do A, B, C, D for you guys. So that's why we all channeled our grievances to the finance minister at that time. Yes. So if you understand it from that perspective, you will know where we are coming from. I mean, we didn't get even 2 kilometers of road. We got some roads, I'm being honest, we got some roads, but not where we needed them. We got the roads in his neighborhood.
So do you think that what you did costed you your failure to retain the seat?
In Tema Central, we won the seat.
No, I mean
me. I wouldn't say so.
You suffered opposition in government?
No, I suffered opposition in government, that is one. Number 2, my people, let me use my people. Tema Central people became rebellious. I was saying that, look, let's go with the system one more time. So let's go with Dr. Bawumia. They said no, they'll go with Ken. Even my own core executives were with Kennedy Japan. Even people, my own driver was with Kennedy Japan because they felt that we have been betrayed. You know, so I suffered. You. Yes. So I'm just telling you, people are very close. People are like close in my skin, were anti the system. Okay. The easiest thing for me to do would have been to just jump into Ken's camp, and I would have won. I would have been free, safe. But I became the poster child for the government. So everything was thrown at me, and I accepted it because for me, I believe that Dr. Bawumia was the best option for us at that time, and I still believe that it's still the best option for us going into the future. So that is what has transpired, and we've all learned our lessons from that. We are prepared. That's why I said we'll capture power in 2028. The mistakes that we have made, yes, we believe we've made mistakes.
But you still think that you are holding on to the seat because if it Bright is still, you know, has not backed off yet.
Yes, Ebi, she's tried. I have to be honest. This is her third time running.
This is her third time, yes.
This time the odds were against MPP, but Tema Central is too strong an MPP seat that will let go, even if it is left with 5 votes. We'll fight to keep that 5 votes.
How do you mean?
But we won with 55. So yes, we might have won with 55 because if you look at the numbers, actually, Ebi only appreciated by 2,000 votes. What do you call it? Charles Forson dropped from 31,000, or MPP dropped from 31,000 to 18,000. If you look at that drop, there was a pattern prior to that. In 2020, out of 65,000 voters, 15,000 didn't turn up. And then in 2020, 2024, another 13,000 didn't turn up. If you put that together, it's 28,000. It's more than the votes that Ebi won. It's more than the votes that Charles Forson won. So there's a chunk of people who didn't even turn up in the first place. Why didn't they turn up? Who are they? Did they register for the ID card sick, or they registered to vote there, or they've moved out? Have they died? What is it? What is it that 28,000 people were not pushed to come and, were not moved from their homes to come and vote in the last election? So those are the dynamics that you have to look at. So Ebi didn't do so well. She only gained an extra 2,000 votes, which was in the trajectory of what she was getting in the past. In the past, she got from 13,000 to 16,000, now 18,000. So you can see that it's just a 2,000 appreciation. But we as MPP, and it was not just Tema Central, it was nationwide. The same trend, you could find the same trend nationwide. You can even juxtapose that trend to what happened in 2016 to the NDC. The NDC suffered the same fate, and then they build back up. It's just that this time the punch was heavier. Instead of 1 million difference, it's about a 2 million difference. So you have to understand the dynamics on the ground. There are real issues on the ground that, yes, as a constituency, we faced. There are also issues that we can blame the national party or the government at that time. But I believe that the time for blaming is over. We've gone past that stage. We put that behind us. And the NDC is 30 days in government already. And I think that we should be preparing to work hard and recapture power for 2028. I think that should be our focus at this stage, and not the nitty-gritties that are happening in the constituencies in Ablekuma North and Tema Central, going to court and all that. Whatever the decision is fine, but the most important thing is that we want to capture power, maintain our seat and capture power in 2028.
I see. I was looking at the exit poll. Since you say you don't know why, the demographics of holding in votes and why they didn't vote and all that. I was looking at the exit polls that came after Global Info Analytics had given us their predictions. Maybe you may want to take a look at it because the outcome was also quite interesting on what people think, why they voted, and the swing.
My argument is that we had 68,000 voters in Tema Central. Out of that 68,000, 18,000 plus 18,000, that gives you 36. So if you take 36 out of the 68, it's about 32. So let's say, even if it was even an 80% turnout, 28,000 people didn't turn up. That alone is a winning margin. It's a whole constituency on its own.
And you believe that 28,000
there must be a reason
are MPP supporters?
No, so naturally, if you compare our votes from last
in the trend.
Yes, because if those people had come out to vote, even let's use 2020 for example. 2020, it was 45,000 that came out to vote. That 45,000, 31,000 voted for me, and then 16,000 voted for Ebi. So if you take that out, there's about 13,000 difference, or 17,000 difference. Well, let's use 13,000. That 13,000 turned up to vote for MPP. This time they didn't turn up at all. They also didn't turn up to vote for Ebi. Because if you had turned up to vote for Ebi, Ebi would have gotten 16 plus 13. which is that is 29,000. But they didn't turn up to vote for her as well. So where are those people?
Well,
who are they? So I've seen all the what do you call it, analysis that has been made by others. But I'm also
doing your own analysis.
Yeah, doing my own analysis.
You'd rather go with your own analysis.
Yeah, because I'm on the ground. I live there. This is the place I live. I go to
It's the same analysis you did.
Yes.
And it costed you these elections.
Well,
you didn't want to rely on any other polls but your own indoor polls.
No, that's not it. See, you also have to understand the constituency and the dynamics of the constituency, the sentiments of the constituency, the people in the constituency. My constituency is made up of two houses. We had Tema West and Tema East that came together. The cultures are even different.
Okay.
The cultures are even different. Even the kind of candidates that you put up, it gives you a certain vote from a certain area and the other vote from the other area. To invoke the people to vote from a certain area, I have a whole block that is purely Akan. You have to attend funerals, you have to attend dance meetings. Otherwise, those people will not come out to vote with you. So all those dynamics play their role. All those dynamics play their role.
And they play their role also in the polls conducted by others, by other professionals.
And that's fine.
Who are professional pollsters.
I'm not disputing their results. I'm just saying that there are so many factors. It's a scientific process. So we'll learn from each other and then move on from there.
Okay. Let me engage lawyer a bit. You know, lawyer, I don't know if you have a thing to say about, but in your Ashanti region as well, you have gone 3 times. What made you, back off?
Okay, so I contested in 2004. I was very young then. NDC was in opposition. I lost. I contested in 2012. In fact, it was the closest margin ever you can get in the history of Adansi Asokwa. And I contested in 2016 and lost. In all this dynamics, you realize that I am an indigene from Adansi. Katie Amon is a settler in Adansi. But we lost the seat in the 2000 elections when NDC was exerting power through.
Exactly.
Yes.
So same dynamics. The swing.
When exactly?
So when it swing to
when it's a particular wave that's blowing.
Exactly, that was the wave.
In fact, let me say the 8-year cycle. It makes it up.
Yeah.
So, but the kind of work we did in that period of years that I contested resulted in certain level of acceptance from the people on behalf of NDC. Now, Katie Amon lost because of, one, people were tired about his utterances, unguided utterances and other things. 2, he took some people for granted. 3, he thought that the candidate who has contested him has no pedigree to win the elections. So for that matter, he thought that it was a walkover and a done deal elections for him.
So he didn't put much.
In fact, if he had pulled whatever resources, you still have lost the elections because of some unguided utterances. The youth, he said the youth, when people are thinking, you don't think Mutikodu, coconut head, all those stuff. People were fed up with it. So, and the reason why I did not contest again, because I'd contested for the regional chairmanship position in Ashanti region and lost, and I've been given the legal director for the region. So it was a bigger role for the region because of the kind of hostilities that the NDC faced in Ashanti region, being being the stronghold for the NPP. So we face a lot of hostility. So we needed somebody with a strong fist to be able to deal with the legal issues that comes up.
So what did you pull this time in the Ashanti region?
Ashanti region, you see, when he was talking, he was talking about people not going to vote and other things. Apathy. Yes, apathy came in a little bit. But if you realize, one of the key issues NDC was talking about, that is our election directorate, led by the current defense minister, who I respect so much, who is very intelligent. He was fighting for a forensic audit of the register. We realized that there are so many things that in the register that we needed a forensic audit, but they rejected it. And the only thing that NDC could do to win this election was to be vigilant.
Okay.
And that vigilance paid off at the various police. Check Ashanti region.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I personally received a lot of videos about vigilance.
Yes.
From the Ashanti region.
We did so much vigilant. We had lawyers and other professional bodies, mining polling stations all over.
MFR Castle was placed in the Ashanti
MFR
region.
Castle was in Bantama. Honorable Marita Brew was in Shiaso. Gabwedi was in Askwa. So many professionals, so many lawyers. They were all there together to help make sure that things that are done during elections in Ashanti region will not repeat itself. And that is the reason why Ashanti region was able to record that kind of...
So you audited the register with your vigilance?
Exactly, that is exactly what we did. Because, you see, Jane Mensah told us that elections are won at the police stations. And we decided to win the elections at the police stations.
So it wasn't Jane that said it was...
The courts.
Sorry?
The courts that said it.
No. The previous EC.
Farijan.
Farijan is the one.
But Jane repeated it sounded it home to us.
But when Farijan said it, you didn't complain. You agreed.
No, you see, we agreed though. But you see, when we complain about certain things, especially Tekshimai South, when we won that in 2020, we won that parliamentary seat, but it was taken from us. We petitioned. She said that once the EC, the return officer, has declared the elections, there's no way that she can collate the results and declare it again.
Because that's what the law says.
That's what the law says. So if you are not, if you are dissatisfied with the results, you can go to court. Now, when you go to Obuasi East constituency, that place, that constituency, it was collated and results was declared. How come Jane Mensah Somoto, without any court order, without any order from anywhere, Somoto went and recollated that results without notice to the NDC and declared the result in favor of MPP? Is it not double standardness?
Are you looking at the double standard, or you're probably considering going to court as a lawyer?
We are in court.
And you are
we are in court. Three.
I've seen some videos.
Yeah, three constituencies in the Ashanti region. We are in court. That is Obuasi East. I have one North. That is Tepa, and I have one Southwest. That is Mankraso. We are in court challenging the results
and the declaration.
Sorry.
The declaration or the re-declaration?
You see, declaration was done in Obuasi East alone, but collation was not done in Hafano North and Hafano Southwest. Collation was not done at all. That is for the parliamentary. Hafano North, collation was not done for the presidential and parliamentary. So if you realize, on the 9th of December 2024, when Jane Mensah was announcing the results, he said that it was minus Hafano North, that is presidential. So at what point did they collate those results with a recourse to the NDC? Because you made the whole world understood that you could not. You did not give reasons why you could not. Because people have entered the coalition center, tax, parading themselves as military men, has entered the coalition center and destroyed the primary evidence that could be put together to get those results.
But that's what the NDC was doing in Greater Accra.
No, that is what the EC said. That is why they could not. And you see, fortunately for MDC, that was when we were able to get the phone of the returning officer.
The phone?
Yes.
The phone that had the communication.
Exactly. And when, luckily for us, there was no lock on the phone. And we chanced upon her communication with the MPP parliamentary candidate who is now illegally being declared as the MP elect. And you realize that at a point she called for the MP to bring the military in, and they destroyed everything. Now, at what point did Jane Mensah collate the results and get that result for the MPP parliamentary candidate to be declared as the MP elect? Again, in Ahafo-Anonof, you see, when they were going for the Mandamu's application to compel the EC, they added Ahafo-Anonof. And Ahafo-Anonof was part of the decision of the High Court, which was upheld by the Supreme Court. Now, if you have an order of a court compelling you to do an act, the interested party in that game is supposed to be notified with the order.
Yeah.
They did not do anything of that sort. So when you go and collect that resource, so moto, that is where we have the problem, and that is where we are saying that whatever it was done illegally. When it comes to Ahafo Southwest and Obuasi East, there was no court order, because MPP, in their wisdom, when they went to court in relation to the Mandamu's application, they did not add Ahafo Southwest. They did not add Obuasi East. So, on what basis or with what order did the EC went back to recollate Obuasi East and collated Ahafo Southwest? All these questions need legitimate answers, and that is the reason why we are in court. Let me also bring to your attention this. When my brother was speaking about the dynamics of the elections and other things that has come up, go and check the records from 1996. The reason I start from 1996 is the fact that in the 1992 election,
there was no MPP in the party.
Since 1996 up till 2020 election, no presidential candidate of the NDC has won in Ahafo before. No presidential candidate of NDC has won in Ahafo Southwest before, when you check the records. But when they were collating the results, they collated the presidential one in Ahafo North, and President Mama won. And when you go to Ahafo Southwest, President Mama won.
It was the same thing in Tema Central.
You get it? So you see, when you look at those trends, that is where, when they realized things were not going in their favor, they were in power, they had control over some military elements, so they used some of the attacks and gave them military uniform, parading themselves as military. So they were, no, that is the truth. Go to Ahafo Southwest.
Can you prove that you saw military men with MPP men in military uniform?
My brother, this,
no,
you need proof.
Those are allegations.
No, you don't need proof of this. You don't need proof of this.
I mean, he's in courts, so he can provide all those evidence.
You're not going to provide any evidence. This one is for the general public.
No, you see, we have a lot of evidence to that effect.
You do?
As we are going to court,
you would have to prove it.
Yes, we will be able to prove those things in court for you to know that those thugs that were parading themselves as military.
Did they come to the police station?
Yes, they came to the police station. They were the people
who caused
that kind of mayhem.
But
when you were talking, I was quiet.
But he's a party person.
Oh, please.
When you were, you see,
when they were
Annie,
we saw them in uniform. We saw them in all kinds of things. We saw them in.
Annie, my judge.
What do you call it?
Judge, you are not doing your work well. Bring him to order. I kept quiet all this while he was making wild allegations. I kept quiet about Tema Central, saying that we did not win Tema Central. But you see, the court will overturn the verdict of Jane Mensah in Tema Central. And you see that indeed, you see, let me be sincere and honest with you. I've said it over and over. NDC is not in court in Ashanti region, the 3 constituencies, because we want the numbers. Because if the 2-test numbers that we are talking about, we have it already. And this is unprecedented. It has never happened in this country before.
You don't have 2 tests.
We have 2 tests. We have 2 tests.
Together with your independents.
Are they not part of us?
Yes. Let's form a caucus with you. Doesn't mean that they'll go and vote for you.
No, we have the 2/3 majority.
Look, MPP had a majority the night before Speaker Bagwin's election.
No, you see.
He had what, 2/3?
No, we didn't have 2/3. So we had a majority.
Majority.
Yes, still.
Oh,
okay. Somebody voted against.
Of only one MP?
That's what I'm saying. So don't.
So all that we are saying is that
all 183 are going to vote for you.
Honorable,
allow him.
Honorable. You see,
go ahead.
when it comes to interjection and good stuff,
I know.
Go
ahead, you continue. No, continue.
You see,
don't worry.
But at least it's Metro TV.
Don't worry.
Very big platform. So what I'm trying to say is the fact that by God's grace, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has the vast majority of members of Parliament in Parliament now. You can use the numbers to do so many things in the interest of the country, not our personal interests. But we need to let the right thing be done in these constituencies that we are talking about. In this constituency that are in dispute, we need to get the right things to be done. So that the people, you see, when we're going to the 2024 elections, do you know the cry of Ghanaians? Because Ghanaians felt that in 2020 they voted for NDC. But unfortunately, NDC did not protect their votes. So in Ashanti region, they will tell you in Tree, and that was the vigilance. Now, if you go to Obuasi East, even in the event that they recollated the result in our absence, they said the MP who won in 2020 by over 17,000 votes, won by 19 votes. Is it not ridiculous?
Right. Even in your absence?
In our absence. They were in a hurry to do that. Because if you see, I have never seen an election being collected without the interested parties. Recollation, you don't write to us. You did not give us any notice to that effect. So all that we are saying is that we want the right thing to be done so that the people in this constituency who know that indeed we protected their vote, it was stolen, we have gone to do the right thing by going to court and get the legal luminaries within this country and the judges to make a decision on that.
Okay, I'll give you a few minutes. Let's touch on the Eastern Regional interview I just had with the minister, and then we will take a break. When we come back, oral. So let me come to you.
Okay, that's fine. Well, it's rather unfortunate that in this 21st century, we would have communities where just basic access to schools becomes a problem. It's rather unfortunate because these are very, basic things that after 60 years of independence, we should be able to do for our people, or should have done for our people. How come? Because I have kids around the same age, and I'm just imagining my kids going to school and having to cross a river. If they don't know how to swim, what if they slip? What if they drown? It's really uncomfortable to even watch these videos. But that's the reality. But there are so many communities in Ghana facing similar problems. So many. You don't even have to go that far. Just go to parts of rural Accra, and you find so many communities in similar situations, just as you even made mention of in the Wager area. But I realized that we always look for a firefighting approach to solving problems, and rather not look at a comprehensive way of solving problems. Because I know that there was a program to build what they call check bridges. My constituency benefited from one of them. We lobbied for that through the Ministry of Roads, and we got one. So such programs, in fact, it was led during the MPP era. They did about 70 or 80 of them all over the country. A lot of MPs were able to lobby to get some in their communities. So we got one that links Tema Central now to Tema West through Klagon. There's a river there that links to the lagoon, the Sakumun Lagoon. So all these, I would say, solutions are readily available. But it also tells us that our town and country planning is very poor. Because if we had a very good town and country planning process, people would not be building or growing, communities would not be growing where we don't have infrastructure. Communities must grow with the infrastructure, or the infrastructure must come before the communities grow. How did that community grow? Maybe it was a village maybe 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Did we plan that that village will now convert into a town or grow into a small city or a mini town, and therefore The population is growing. We are putting
and
a
even
school
have
on the other side.
development go beyond the river.
Exactly. I mean, when you go to Holland, every place is a river. Holland, everywhere. In fact, the country is below sea level.
Sea level.
Everywhere is a river. There's bridges everywhere. When you go to Hanoi, Vietnam, everywhere is a river. Many cities are built around rivers or close to rivers, and yet they've been able to build functional cities and towns based on science and technology, or based on information or proper planning, town and country planning. So, for me, I think that is where our focus should be. Proper planning. Yes, we do some of these things come up, and then we do social intervention. But to is it sustainable? I realize you're trying to question the minister whether it's sustainable in the long term, because if you do it for community A and people see it, maybe the other communities around, people have phones today, they can just go take a video and come and show it. Yes, you show it. Are you going to do the same as you are doing for this community, for Wise and his brother? Or I hope you understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
It is just like it's not bad in itself, but that shouldn't be the focus. The focus should rather be proper planning and how we can solve these problems in the long term. Right. Using the military is not a bad idea. Many societies have developed working alongside their armies. Most often times in peacetime, the armies have not much to do. So you can engage them to do some of these things. When you go to South America, Chile and co., that's how they built a lot of their rural areas. They used their military. So the military did the highways, the roads, and sometimes it turns out to be cheaper. Because
and faster
and faster, because their structure and way of management is completely different. They are not profit oriented, so they are looking at how to solve that problem. And I think this bridge can be built by the military in a very short time. They built a lot of bridges around the country, and so this one shouldn't be a difficulty for them. And I believe that once we've seen this, we should also see them doing it for other communities. We can have a comprehensive program led by the army to build bridges all over the country or in such deprived communities, so that at least situations of this nature will not occur again.
Sisi ameno kase die okopiem e Dr Muhammadu Bawumia na kache dia na chese eho no mai beja se ne midi kan first edi kiro no operation recover all loot no omo edi omo apakan akosi ho no ma omo sesa Land Cruises bia omususu se eye aban ajapade eye aban sika ena omodo toye sebi enye timamuni bidie enti ene sankofo yi akutena ho no ma omo make sure say all those cars no will be retrieved. So far so good. Tell me di kankan ene barely 1 month, 1 week and I John the money Mahama eso akofenam Israel ebeye Ghana yem president and mama yen kan kwaro mate se enko MPP for bi ye jandam ena Attorney General Mahama ba esisia yi cases a ewo honum we free omo wayesi edientia cases no na ewo honum na NDC MPP for bra no mo aban mu no munim se case no ampa etia NDC for and for that matter no ye betimi ageli omo na omo ntimi na omo ntimi angeli NDC for no na NDC aba and you're telling Ghanaians say still na Attorney General Yura Dominic Ayine on santo a case in so ebasa it is total waste of public fund. It is total waste of what resources. And India nobody almost the case against one or draw or pulling it down. And yes, nipa no we di money be and I say nipa no watra na mu na still no more. No. The issue here is Attorney General Yura Godfred Yabo Dame or shame ehu die na ekoso nyina no nya case bi amfa ntiom nti no in the other way no na omo hu so te say abrobe It is then and this kind of case yet was so. Ampa light na shasi dundum and obi a sebi unim o mine ho hwe unim Ghana said ye Ghana ni mesikoro. Put the blame on John Mahama at this crucial moment. Light a shasi dundum nimsem patamu baby na ndra nkofo bi frame amoka o chale ye wo ha o ye origin wo ye light dundum na mokasa mu ndisi mu na mo yese ene ndisi abade na ekọ no kwase me wom ni se light na edundum no enye ndisi fonfonso and adia MPP for e was omoti ase wo ye MPP supporter wo so oti ase ni se yewra eye akufo ado o free akonwa no so no na eka kese pa da ho e wo energy sector ho na eka ibi mada eka debt in fact na ebi da honom anu muhia se omobetua before say they will get fuel to power their kosombo I bit me enyam kania agina so 247 but saka no yura president Akufo-Addo ene ne dom entimi ankle nti omoko so a kompale saka na kopimse eye dodo ai ne na ofiri so opia saka no edi mu ayura John Dramani Mahama enti eno ho ena John Dramani Mahama ahase a o face challenges a ono kwa ka kire Ghana for se President Akufo-Addo ajaka enti in case light ni dunduma mamu fa blame emma no and of course Akufo-Addo ntime mbi na no then VR boss and I say and no obi a crampo se hwan e ba bontin be ye unnecessary press release bi kika nsem bi because no one kasa hu di oka but ohwe hadoma and I say ohwe mega TV a yedi kaka twese no cost bi ewom no e be mo wate me say DC for ya de anya beka MPP for ya de anya beka no kwasi no wom ni say light na edundum no enye DC for fort because aban no kura nyam for me wie it is then your budget allocation say budget nyam by it is then and I say NDC for no mudundum light at this time no ye Akufo-Addo aban no dios oye to ho no na ye papa John Dramani Mahama face that challenge no it mummy na ye mompai na owura no the bold solutions our shasia only the say institutions are mutimi can be a womb and the other operators betimi atrense dins awoso they are working on it and I know for sure say very few months light e be stable na yetimi dia ye de e wo say den ye de it for now de mo na yentwen yenum nso ntwope akwanoma menum nso ma twope mo jerudi efusan media nimi abeye o nti mo na yenum nso ne yemfa animi anye na yenim se Akufo-Addo ene na abanya fisu de hope e wo honum e de Ghana for yakopon koso nshira hanum e you are number 1 authentic platform Mega TV yeguso ese the best of news ever na me ba for United States of America mami yakopon nshira mufanje ma me roye bi UK yakopon nyema mami kese obi bia hwe Mega TV no I salute you hanum e you are number 1 authentic platform Mega TV makraw bye bye.